Hi, and congratulations on completing week 2, Features of Historiography. Now, I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes. Grades were much better this week, and I think we're on the right track. But I wanted to just kind of review again the assignments and what I was looking for. And then at the end of this short video, I want to highlight a couple of Turabian formatting errors that continue to trip up a couple of folks. So first, our goals were to demonstrate an understanding of the basic literary features and theological themes of the historical books. Second, to explain how Old Testament historiography is different from other Old Testament and New Testament genres. Third, to defend a position on the nature of biblical historiography as a depiction of the past. And finally, to explore how point of view functions in the writing of Ruth. And that last one we didn't do a whole lot on, but on the first three, I think you'll agree that the assignments really dove into these questions and helped us to understand the role of historiography in the historical books and how we might understand them better. So, the assignment 2-1. How are the historical books different? And that was designed to be a video. Only a few of you took advantage of that, and that's fine. Most did a paper, and that's also fine. But whether or not you do a paper or a video, I was looking for several things. As always, I'm looking for engagement with the reading, and that is engagement including quotes as evidence, biblical support as evidence for your conclusions, and then finally the presence of outside research that you spent a few minutes on Logos or the internet looking for academic sources to support your position. Wanted you to consider 4 questions. I did look for each of those 4 in your grading, and I felt that content-wise folks did much better. And the videos scored even higher than the papers, showing that folks took some real time to explore the question. And it's nice to see a face so that I can attach it to the name as you work through. Second assignment was history of science or art in the way we interpret. And I've got long and red here because I was looking for your interaction with Long on this quote and strong, long support or long support in your paper. But I also wanted outside research because it says his arguments in support of his statement. So to fully assess what he is saying, you will need to interact with his arguments in support of his statement and to understand and critique his argument, you need to use outside research from someone else who either agrees or disagrees with Long and his ideas on historiography. And so the why you agree, that last part, do you agree, why or why not, is where you would bring in some outside research and some biblical support in your own personal position. Moving on to Turabian. And again, content on papers was very strong this week. I appreciate the work that you guys did. I felt that formatting still has some issues for some folks. Remember, and I'm going to continue to increase the amount of deduction I take if people are not using simple formatting and grammar guidelines like Bible is capitalized, not uncapitalized. Biblical is not capitalized. Word and scripture, if you're using them as a euphemism for Bible, they are capitalized. So capital W, word, capital S, scripture. To quote a biblical passage, some are putting that in footnotes, and that's not really correct. The appropriate way to cite a biblical quote or a biblical passage is to put it in parentheses at the end of the sentence with the abbreviation for the book. So J or GEN for Genesis, no comma, space, 1, colon, and then the verses. So chapter, colon, verse, or verses. Be sure to look in your Turabian or online or in SBL for the correct abbreviation. I typically, at this level, don't count off for that, but do not put a comma after Genesis, the abbreviation. Just the abbreviation for Genesis, then the chapter, colon, verse. Not in the footnote. Then in the bibliography, you would put a citation for the Bible, NIV, NRSV, ESV, whichever Bible version you're using. That goes as a bibliography, not a footnote. Then for footnotes, there are some common consistent errors that I'm finding. If you are, for instance, citing Erickson, you would put Miller J. Erickson in your footnote, then a comma, then the title of the book in italics. Some folks are not using italics for that. Then a comma. I'm sorry, whoops, that's, see, and even I may make a mistake, not a comma. So let me start over. Miller J. Erickson, Christian Theology, no comma, space, and then parentheses, Grand Rapids, your city, colon, your publishing company, Baker Academic, comma, the year 2013, close parentheses, comma, and then the page number, and then a period. Now, if you use Erickson, and then you use someone else, you use Long, and then you come back and use Erickson as a quote, you use the short form, which is just Erickson, last name of the author, comma, shortened title of the book. Now here it's only 2 words, so we keep it at 2 words, Christian Theology, comma, and then the page number, period. So you use that for a second non-consecutive use of the same book, or author, or paper, or whatever you're quoting. Then if it's consecutive, in other words, you use Erickson for quote 1, and you use Erickson for quote 2, so they're back-to-back quotes, you use IBID, I-B-I-D, which is an abbreviation, so you use a period. And that's all you would put if it's the exact same page. So our quote 1 is Erickson, page 150. Our quote 2 is Erickson, page 50. So you just use IBID, period, and you're done. If it is a different page number but the same author, then you would use IBID, period, comma, and then the page number 120, period. So that's if it's 2 consecutive quotes from the same author but a different page number. So that's all I have for this week. Thanks for your attention. Have an awesome day, and I look forward to reading what you guys come up with in week 3.